Today we have Nathaniel from Germany, and we'll talk about videos, podcast. I also want to listen to his story because I really don't know him, but I've seen some on Twitter, one tweet about his podcast. So I went on his channel. He has a really good quality of video and audio. So I really want to know him. How are you, Nathaniel?
Thank you very much, Francesco, for having me. Grazie per avermi ospitato. Uh,
Wow, wow, shocked.
I grew up. I was blessed to grow up in a multicultural environment. So
Wow,
I grew up with the Italians, people from Spain,
wow,
Turkish people, Russian people. So I picked a lot of words, phrases
nice.
when I was growing up. So that's why I know a little bit to be
Yeah.
dangerous. Let's say, put
Wow.
it that way.
Wow. Yeah. I really like you a lot. So yeah.
Yeah.
From where do you want to start? Because you told me that you are currently a developer and also you're making videos. So you're doing a lot of stuff. So would you like to tell us how did you become a developer and also what are you doing now? I'm here, yeah, to
Oh
listen
yes.
to you.
So
Yeah.
I started working in tech as an IT support engineer or user help desk specialist, and it was actually in 2012. And after my apprenticeship, I started working full time as an IT supporter, and I did that for like 5 years. And afterwards, so after 5 years, I was like, I, uh, I, I, I experienced a setback in my career as a user help desk. And so I was thinking about, okay, what should I do? I was even doubting my
Hmm.
my career in tech, if I should even stay in tech or do something completely different. But I I stick with IT, with tech, and so during that time, I was like a little bit confused. I was looking around. Okay, what else are there out there? Because before when I was working during my time as an IT supporter, let's say my goal, my dream was to become a sysadmin, right? So as an IT supporter, you're like managing
Hmm.
client devices, right? Like phones, tablets, printers, these small devices. Then when you move up to sysadmin, you start managing devices, virtual machines, and servers, all this. Let's say these big devices, and that was actually say my goal. And I had the opportunity to actually work as a sysadmin, and I blew it up. I I I messed up, and that was actually the time I was like, "Oh my goodness, is this even something for me? Should I stay
Hmm.
here?" Because
Hard
actually,
times.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was there where I wanted to be, but I wasn't able to put the time, the effort to stay there. And so I started looking around, and so during this time, a friend had reached out to me and sent me like a link where you can go to a school or do a online course, and after 6 months you get a degree, and you're a web developer. And I was like, what is this? What kind of stuff is this? And it's like boot camp, like software development boot camp. I was like, does this how is it possible for you to go into a so-called boot camp, and after 6 months you can work as a software developer? This is impossible, because I grew up thinking that before you can be a software developer, you have to go to college, you have to be really, really good in math, you have to have a photographic mind, and you have to be doing this since day one, right? And
Hmm.
someone like me, I'm none of that, right? I'm not good in math. I'm not. I don't have a photographic brain, and I was like, this can't be. And so I was like going through the site and looking through. They were like offering things like web development, UI design, iOS development. And then I found out that these people, they are so uh, they are so let's say sure of their product, that they will it would offer you to get your money back, right? If you don't get a job as a software developer. And I was like, my goodness, if they're so confident in their product, if they're so confident in what they sell, in their medicine, then maybe this medicine really works, right? so, so I started looking into all different kind of boot camps because that's the first time I found out that boot camps, these things exist, right? And I found out that I Googled and on YouTube seen people sharing their stories who did boot camps and who went to this kind of self-taught route, and now they're developers. Some people they said took 3 months, and some took 3 years, and I was okay. That's really cool, but I wasn't quite sure, 100% sure, because most people I was watching on YouTube, um, even people like Coding Phase. I think yours, Coding Phase, Christian, people like this. I saw them on YouTube before I became a software developer, and I'm like, man, these people, how did they do it? And I was like, okay, these guys, they live in America, right? So they're living in the land of opportunities, and in the place where you can land, where you can do everything, where everything is possible, right? I'm thinking, okay, maybe this only works in America, like this doesn't work in Germany. So, but that didn't hold me back. I still decided, okay, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to try it and see how far I can get, right? And when I was trying it, learning how to code, I started with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, the little bit of jQuery, a little bit of Python here, and I just noticed that, man, this is so amazing. I really love this. I want to do this for a long, long time. And
Nice.
so just started sucking everything in, everything I could get from the internet, every resources. Udemy, I think I bought everything Udemy had to offer. I bought everything, and I was so excited. I would come home with the things that I worked on, some static web page that just have like some random text on it, and you can just scroll up and down. That's it, right? Just simple thing like that. Was I was so excited building this kind of stuff. I would like come home, run to my wife, and say, "Hey, honey, look at this website. You can scroll up and down." And
Yeah, I know
and
the feeling. I know the feeling. Yeah.
and it was so amazing that because I worked for five to 6 years as an IT supporter, and I never had that feeling, right? I never had a feeling where I come home, I couldn't wait to show people what I did at work, and I was just doing this on the side as a hobby, and it was really really nice. And so, and I
Yeah.
told myself, I want to do this. I want to do this for a living. I want to. I don't care how long it's going to take, even if it takes me 10 years. I don't care. I want to become a software developer. So I started doing learning, and during this phase when I was learning, I was thinking of, okay, if I ever make it into software development, I want to share my story too. I want to let people know that, look, it is possible. Look, you can become a software developer without a computer science degree, without being a math genius, without being a computer geek, and all this kind of stuff. So I started like just going through this adventure, and I was working full time IT support. I'm a father of two now,
Wow.
married, and my our third child is on the way, and
Wow.
and
Yes.
yeah, so I was very very into software development. Like every day before I go to work, I would wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning, learn software development for 2 hours, go to work full time, come back home, spend time with the family. If they go to sleep, I code again, and I just was doing that for like
I yeah. We are on the same club. Let's say we don't live close each other, but we are on the same club. So bye from the 4 a.m. Club.
yeah. So I did that like for 3 4 months, and it wasn't the most healthiest thing you can do. You should
I
do.
know.
I
I
wouldn't
know.
recommend anybody to do this kind of stuff. But
yeah,
I was so into it. I really wanted to know how deep the rabbit hole goes. I really want to
yeah,
know, is this thing really something I can do? Is this thing something I can that fits my skills and my the way
yeah,
I work? And it's that kind of things I want to do in the future. And it was just like it was really 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 enjoyed it. Of course there were like setbacks, moments where you were like, man, this thing's just way too difficult, right?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
way too hard, and it's a complete different way of thinking than my previous job as an IT
yeah,
support, where everything's like already there. You just have to set up set up a computer, set up a phone, or set up a workspace, and that's it. And then you
it's
go
a
to the
different.
next task. But software development is way different. You have to come up with a lot of stuff, and of course, you have Google and you have Stack Overflow, but you still it's much more complicated and more complex than
Yeah,
my previous work.
yeah,
And
and you
so yeah,
also, yeah, yeah,
mm,
and you also need to stay updated
I,
daily. Daily.
exactly, exactly, exactly. And
Yeah.
so that's what I was doing. And then this company reached out to me while I was working as an IT supporter. Company reached out to me and they told me, "Hey, Nathaniel, we're looking for an IT supporter in our company. Do you want to join us?" And I was like, no, I don't want to join you guys as an IT supporter because I want to become a software developer. I've decided, I've made up my mind. This is what I want to do in the future. However, if you guys are open to give someone who is learning how to code a chance in the future to switch department, right? Switch from IT
Mm.
support to software development, even if it's just internship, right? If it's just an internship, that's fine. Mm, I would consider, I might consider joining you. And
Mm.
so they were like, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. Come on over. And that's I switched, and I
Right.
worked there 1.5 years as an IT supporter. And after 1.5 years, I was like stalking the developers in this company, reaching out to them. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, what's that syntax? Look, I'm stuck in this project. Can you help me out? Look, which libraries do I need to do this and to do that? So it was actually when I was working there that I started looking into iOS development because I was when I was
Mm.
in web development. At the same time, I was also looking into iOS development. I just loved iOS development. I love the environment. I love the ecosystem. I just love the way it's built. And so I then decided, okay, I want to do iOS development. Although I knew that um, uh, getting a job in iOS development as a self-taught is way more difficult than getting a job as a self-taught and jumping into web development. Right?
Yeah,
It's easier,
yeah,
and because an iOS development, it's you have to be let's say have a really strong
yeah,
fundamentals in
yeah,
object-oriented programming, right? And while in web development, if you can just do a little bit of HTML, CSS, that's fine for the beginning. Then later you can then catch up
yeah,
with
yeah,
JavaScript and so on.
yeah,
But in
and
iOS development, you just have to be right,
yeah,
right up
yeah,
front.
yeah, and also the iOS community is smaller, so you need to look
Exactly.
for. Yeah, it's not very small, but if you
It's
look
much
for
smaller, yeah.
if you go Stack Overflow and you ask for something in HTML, you'll find the answer for sure.
Hundreds of thousands of results. And then if you're looking for iOS development, and like same thing goes for job. If you're going looking for an internship job, iOS development, or looking for a junior position, iOS development, you don't get that much, right? But
Yeah,
web development, there are tons, thousands out there.
yeah,
So
it's
I
yeah,
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 I knew the risk. I knew the risk, and I was thinking to myself, man, do you really want to do this?
yeah,
But
but
yeah,
I think that it can also be an advantage because there are also maybe less iOS developers. So if I have some friends that are iOS developers, they are fine because
yeah, of
there
course.
are also less people that are looking for those
Yeah,
jobs.
yeah. So there are also advantages. So you have, let's say, less people who are also looking forward to join do iOS
Yeah,
development.
yeah,
So that's something that's also an advantage of being an iOS
yeah,
developer.
yeah.
And so I was like stalking the developers in the company, always asking them questions, and some of them knew that, man, this guy is really taking this thing serious, right? And they just like keep helping me. And so right from scratch, everybody in the company knew that this is the crazy guy who wants to become a software developer one day. And but at the same time, everybody was supporting me. Everybody was like, man, hopefully you're gonna make it. And if you need any help. And so it was really, really great and really great
Yeah,
experience. And so one day it was I can't, these days it still feels like a
yeah,
dream, right?
yeah.
You don't I came to work, and on that day I was having an interview, right? I was having an interview with a company uh, for a junior iOS developer position, right? So
Mhm.
I started applying for a job, and this company looked into my CV, and they were like, "Hey, okay, come on over, let's talk a little bit." And I went there, I shared my story, and they were like impressed, and they were like, "Oh man, you are really, really motivated. You have the energy we want from a junior software developer, and we want you. We want you to join the company." And I was like, "Oh wow, great, amazing!" I went home, called my wife on the phone, screaming, "I made it! We made it! We made it! I'm gonna become a software developer. I told you it wasn't in vain. I told you all the all the time and all the effort that I put in is now paying off." And my wife was also happy, of course. And I got to work on that same day. I got to work, and a friend to a colleague to I told my colleague that, "Hey, look, in a few months I'm going to be gone because I just got an offer. I just got an offer for a software developer job, and I can believe that I'm going to become a software developer." And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's really great. That's cool. By the way, the boss just came in and he wants to talk to you." And I was like, why did my boss want to talk to me? I was like, did he found out that I was in an interview, or what was going on? And he said, well, the company decided, the boss, a boss just told me that the company's decided to give me a try as a software developer, junior iOS developer. And I was like, what? And he said, "Oh, go to him. He's waiting for you in the office." And I was like, "This can't be. This cannot be. I just got an offer from this other company, and now I'm coming to work
Wow,
and
this is
also getting
interesting.
an offer from my." And so I went to his office, and he said, "Nathaniel, look, you've been working here for 1.5 years, and people have noticed that you are really into this software development thing. The software developers in the iOS developers are really impressed. They have been monitoring you and watching you all these months since you've been working here, and they really think you have the right mindset to do this transition, right, to do this switch." And that's why, and of course, there's a position, open position as a junior iOS developer, and we're considering to give you a try. And
So,
I was like, "Whoa,
so
wow!"
you had the two offers now.
Two offer one day, two offer.
Wow.
I mean, I still had to do the code challenge and all this stuff, but it was such that day was so crazy. I couldn't believe. I was like trying to pinch myself. Maybe this is a dream. I need to wake up. I need to wake up.
Yeah.
This can't be real.
Yeah. So
And yeah, so that's how I actually got into software
yes.
development, and I have been working as an iOS developer since summer 2019. So
So
it's
yeah. So you decided to stay in your own company
exactly, I
in
decided.
the end.
Yeah, yeah, because no,
Yeah.
I know the people, I
Yeah.
know the environment,
Yeah.
and So
Yeah, and sometimes it's crazy that maybe maybe you have worked for like one year and a half without anything, and then in the same day everything happens, everything something changes
mm,
so suddenly. So it's strange that sometimes we I think you remember that day forever. Yeah.
yeah, definitely, definitely. It's going to be a day I'm going to
Yeah.
remember that day forever. And yeah, so
Yeah.
that's how it's actually started. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for this story. This story is really amazing, and we haven't even talked about videos. So now I would also like to talk about your podcast. But congratulations on that.
Thank
I
you.
think that when a person is really sure about what he or she wants to do, everything around him or her changes. Because if you're sure that you want to do that, people are not there to say to you, "Are you sure about that? Would you like?" Maybe you should say, if people, if they see in your eyes that you are sure that you want to do that, they start also following you, to help you. Help you. I would also have helped you really if I will be a software engineer in that company, because if I see one person, who really wants to understand things, learn new things. I would really be really open to that.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, here in Germany, it's a little bit different, and
mm,
things are getting much better, and people
mhm,
are having are more open now. But let's say a few years back, switching to software development without a computer science degree or without having, let's say, a very solid background in
mhm,
software development, it was an absolute. It's impossible. It was almost
mm,
impossible,
mm,
and yeah, and very few people has actually made that transition without computer science degree. And yeah, I just happen to be been blessed to be one of them, right? And
mm,
so being
mm,
able to do this transition here in Germany, and as a person of color, and as someone who doesn't have a computer science degree, and that's it's great, it's amazing, and that's why I decided to start my YouTube channel, right? I just want to
yeah. Let's talk about that.
help people,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And I'm really honored to have you here to talk with you here, because I think it has not been that easy, but you made it. Really happy for you.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's talk about your YouTube channel. Yeah, he has this YouTube channel. The name is Code Stories, and we'll put the link in the description. So first of all, subscribe to his channel. First, be faster,
Subscribe now.
and then the bell and everything. And now can you talk about this project, because you have Code Stories as the name of your channel, so you want to really focus on this, I think, or not?
Oh yeah, all right.
Mhm.
There was some connection issues we were having, but I'm
Okay.
back now, right? You can hear me.
Hmm. Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so you asked regarding my asked something regarding my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started my YouTube channel in this year. Okay, it's still this year, right?
Mhm.
It's not the year, it's 2020, it's not over yet.
Yeah, 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 yeah. In 2020, yeah.
And yeah, so in February, I started my YouTube channel because when I got into software development, I was thinking to myself, I don't want to keep this just for myself, right?
Mm.
I don't want this thing to be something that's just me, my personal achievement, which is it's true, but at the same time, how can I reach out to people? How can I help people and show them that and tell them that, hey, look, it is possible, right? It is possible, and to do this transition, to switch to from something that has absolutely nothing with software development and then switch. So I started my YouTube channel, share my story, giving tips, advice, just encouraging, empowering, equipping
Nice.
people on how to do this, make this transition, right? And and I've been having such a great feedback from people because when I started, before I started, I was thinking, hmm, at some point I was thinking, yeah, my story is gonna be cool. Know that this black guy from Germany, he speaks German, and now he was an IT supporter, and yeah, it's a cool story. But at the same time, I'm like, that's very niche, right? Because nobody's going to listen to my story because, oh yeah, nobody cares about tech, right? And there's just few people out there who might listen. Uh, but I published my video, and I was really resisting to
Mm.
uh, to to tell my colleagues at work that, hey, look, I have a YouTube channel, right? And you want to
Mm.
take a look and want to watch. But I was like, if I don't do it, I'm gonna get sluggish. I'm gonna get lazy. I know that. And this is one thing that I like to do, to, let's say, to push myself, to put this, let's say, healthy pressure on myself, right? Telling
Nice.
people that, hey, look, I'm doing this. This is a project I'm working on. And yeah, so I just posted. I went to our Slack channel and just posted my YouTube channel, and everybody, entire company was like, "Oh, what's going on? What? Man, YouTube? You do YouTube now? Wow, great,
Yeah.
amazing!" And everybody's like, "Wow, really great! It looks really cool." And I'm like, "Whoa, great!" And
Yeah.
since then, I was like, "Oh, great!" And since then,
You.
I've been doing this YouTube thing, and people at work, hey, is that YouTube guy? That's you. Hey, YouTube guy, wait, what's up?
Uh, yeah, because I think that it happens something very similar to me when I share my YouTube channel with my colleagues because I think that for some person who is not into YouTube, they see YouTubers, I don't know, like I don't know, aliens, some people from another planet, maybe, or maybe it's just for I don't know, kids, I don't know, teenagers, I don't know. But it's not only that. Everybody can.
Yeah, yeah. So they were like, wow, so one of us is now on YouTube. Wow, great, man.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah, so I was like, when I was doing this YouTube thing, when I started doing it, and I was really, really into camera. I didn't before I started doing YouTube. I had absolutely no clue about cameras, about
me
all
too.
this
Me too. Here I am.
light, microphone, makes what is
Same
what
page.
aperture,
Yeah,
autofocus, ISO settings. What is this? All these things, it made sense to me. Lighting, all this stuff. It was like I don't
yeah,
know what stuff, how to operate, how to manage these things, right? And
yeah,
I started watching YouTube, reading things,
yeah,
all this kind of stuff, and I was just
yeah,
picking up, trying different things, experimenting with different things,
yeah,
and getting great feedbacks. People were like, "Man, your lighting looks really cool. Your video
mm,
quality looks really cool. How are you doing this?" And so it was really, really great. But at the same time, it takes a lot of energy, right? It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of time, and people think that doing YouTube videos is just you just go to turn on the camera, turn on the
mm,
light, and hit record, and you just
yeah.
start talking, right? And that's how it works.
Yeah, yeah. I have. Yeah, I made a tweet. Sometimes I tweet about this, like making YouTube videos is so easy. Told the person who never did one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think it's just easy, and then it's so challenging, right?
yeah,
And it can be really hard, especially at the beginning. And when you just sit in front of camera and you just freeze. Sometimes
I
you
know.
can. Sometimes um I'm so I freeze. I don't even know. I can't even remember my name. I'm like, what was my name again?
I
I need to
don't.
introduce myself.
Yeah, now for me you are my friend because
Yeah.
you are really on the same page. I
Yeah.
really totally understand you. Yeah,
And
for now we are friends.
I'm
Yeah,
like, what is wrong with you? You forgot your name.
yeah,
And so so it was really, really a hard start, but later you get a little bit used to it, and you start catching up, and things just start
yeah,
become like random, and you start realize, okay, yeah, I really, yeah, I can say this stuff over and over again. And so I just and then so when I was doing this solo video where only me. I was the only person on the camera talking, speaking. I was
Mhm.
thinking of myself, okay, so I I would like to have other people on my channel to
Mm.
share their stories, right? Because maybe someone is watching my video, listening to my video, and thinking to themselves, hey, okay, Nathaniel, your story is really cool, but I cannot relate to your story, right? I live in Morocco. I live in India, or I live in Pakistan. I don't know, somewhere, right? In Moscow. You live in Berlin, and good for you. That works in Berlin, but your kind of story or your kind of journey doesn't
Yeah.
work here, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, okay, how can I uh, bring content to fill those gaps, right? So I started thinking, okay, maybe I should invite people to my channel. Maybe I should invite people who have other stories, who have other backgrounds, other experiences, other adventures, and they should share their story. And so my first guest was this lady um, from South Korea, right?
Mm.
Self-taught developer. She taught herself taught herself how to code in South Korea, and now she's working in Germany. We work together. She's a web front end developer, and so now that I'm having all these different people in each channel, so if you cannot relate to my story, maybe you can relate to that lady's story from
Mm.
South Korea. Maybe you can relate to that person's story from Morocco who was on my channel. Maybe you can relate to that other person from Zambia, right? This other guy from Zambia. Maybe you can relate to his story, right? And so I was having getting this great feedback from people saying, "Man, really amazing! I didn't knew that doing software development in Moscow, self-taught software developer in Moscow, you can really become transition, right, and professionally, and come to Germany or wherever you want to move to, and start working full time as a software developer. Look at all these people you're bringing into your channel, people from all different parts of the globe, right? And also at the same time, I was also okay. I don't want to stick to just software development, right? I just do just software development because whenever people think about IT tech, the first thing in their mind is either coding or huge computers, and just everything is just super complicated, super complex, and you have to be like I already mentioned, really, really super smart to get into this space. And I also wanted to get rid of that misconception. So I was thinking, okay, I don't want to just do software development topics, right? I don't want to talk just about software development. I want to bring people in who are scrum masters, people who are UX UI design, product owner, product manager, CTO, entrepreneurs, uh, people who are even HR people, right? Anybody who has anything working in tech, any way, shape, or form, can come to the channel. All right. And I want to talk about that because I also don't want to forget my background, right? My roots. My roots is IT support, right? So I want to tell people, hey, look, if you want to dive into tech, you don't doesn't necessarily have to be software development. You can do all different kind of stuff. If software development is not for you, don't worry. You can try Scrum Master. You can try product owner. You
Yeah.
can try
Absolutely.
UI, UX, right? You can try DevOps, sysadmin, IT support, or user help desk. All these kind of things, you can try them, right? And these are the kind of, let's say, these things that I brought into my channel, and just trying to, yeah,
Mm.
to to bring in, and and in summer 2019, I also launched another YouTube channel, a second YouTube channel, a
Wow.
German YouTube channel. It's also called Code Stories, but it's Code Stories DE, and the DE stands for Deutschland. So I'm a German. I been in Germany for over 20 years, and so
Mm.
in my German channel, yeah, I speak German. I also invite people who are working in tech, and we do also
Yeah.
podcasting, interview, and they share their story. Just, yeah,
Mm.
just
Yeah.
to
Yeah. who knows? Maybe
Giorgio
one day I will start something in Italian.
in
Maybe.
Italian. Yeah,
And in that
yeah. I
in
think.
that case,
Mm,
I'll create another channel. I think because
yeah, yeah,
almost all my audience are they talk in English,
mm.
international. I don't know if I'll never do that. If I never have time to do that. For now, I'm okay. Maybe you have felt, yeah, maybe this
Yeah,
needing.
yeah. Talking about Italian channel, I would really recommend you to try it out because um, there's a podcast that I did a few weeks ago. I still need to publish it, and it's from a colleague of mine. His name is Michele. He's also
Mhm,
from also from Italy, and
mhm,
we're also talking about the software development environment, or let's say a community in
mhm.
Italy. And he was like, man, in Italy it's really really bad, and
It is.
places nobody cares about this kind of stuff. Everything's outsourced, and yeah, maybe your channel, YouTube channel in Italy,
Let's see. Yeah.
Italy can can bring
I don't
light.
know. Let's see. For now, let's see. For now, I'm really full because I'm doing a lot of interviews. But yeah, I'd like to. I had I had two Italian people from developers from Italy, and but we have made the interview in English because yeah, one lived in Ireland and one yeah also. Yeah. So yeah. Thank you for this. So, which are your plans for both you? So you have two YouTube channels. You said
Yeah, yeah.
which are your plans with that? Do you want to
Oh
keep going?
well, plans. So I have two YouTube channel. My podcasts are also available on Spotify,
Hmm.
Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and this Anchor thing.
I need to check that because I don't know that. But so you also record your podcast and you turn this into audio
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
that.
I just extract
I
the
need to I
audio
need
from
I
video.
need
Yeah.
to check that because I have almost 70 podcasts that I could turn into audio. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe it's one of the first things that I will do at the beginning of next year or this year,
Mm.
2021. So thank you also for remembering this to me because my memory is not that good. Yeah. So and this is also yeah. Maybe I need to understand how it works. Yeah. If for example, can you tell me a little bit 2 minutes about this podcast? So audio, Google Podcast, how it works? It works. Does it
Yeah.
work good for
So
you? Or not?
yeah, actually, what you need to do, there's this platform called Anchor. So
Yeah.
I think it's also from Spotify. It's like something that's powered by Spotify, and
Mm,
you can just register, create an account, and then start uploading your audio there, and then
mhm,
you can then say set up where this audio should be contributed to. So you can say, okay, I want this audio to also be available on, yeah, of course, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and that's
yeah.
actually that's it. So
Mm.
it's very simple to set.
Yeah.
Setup is actually pretty straightforward and
I'll
simple.
try. I'll try. I don't know. Maybe one day. Also, yeah, this video version will have an audio version. I need to work on that because
Mm.
I have so many. So maybe in the future I'll check that. Of course, we can also yeah put in the description the links to your podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe,
My
because yeah,
Spotify. You can
yeah,
also
yeah. For
post.
example, I had some people who told me, "Thank you for these interviews, but I'd like the audio version because I need to maybe I want to listen to that while I'm driving or I don't know in other situations while I run." So maybe YouTube is not the best case.
Mm,
Yeah. So I had people who really asked me for that. So I could try that maybe, and then let's see.
yeah,
Yeah. So.
yeah. Talking about my future plans.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to, yeah, continue doing what I'm doing right now. Working full time as an iOS developer. Working on my doing my podcast, and there's also another thing that I will also mention, but it's still let's say secret. I'm going to do I'm going to
Yeah.
do a video on that soon. And
Mm,
yeah,
nice.
so just looking forward to see. But I'm also looking forward to do more like solo video, like just
Nice.
giving some advice. And
Me
because
too.
the podcasting takes a lot of time. It's really time consuming. And when you're doing the things, just recording yourself, it's very easy. You just go there and set up everything. But when you're doing a podcast, you need to reach out to people, and then uh,
I know that pretty well.
so many things you have to think about. And yeah, so I'm also looking forward to bring more, or say do less podcasting, but more solo stuff
Hmm.
in
Nice.
2021. And also looking forward to do some courses also. And I'm not going to do anything super fancy, just talking about some of the let's say fundamental topics in software development,
Yeah.
right? It's something that is
Nice.
really, people don't talk about that much. Of course, people want to build stuff. They want to talk about, hey, how you can use React to build
Hmm.
this Netflix clone, build that clone and this clone, and people are really excited. But I think what is also missing is just the fundamentals, the basics, right? Okay, what is an object, right? What is an object? What is a class, right? And how the
Yes.
object communicate with each other, and what's the difference between a constant and a variable, right? And uh, how
Yeah.
does uh,
Yeah.
memory
But
works, right? How
yeah.
does and all this kind of stuff, right? And it's not, it's dry, it's a little bit
Yeah.
boring,
No,
but
no, 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 no. It's not boring because I think that this is also the content which is maybe researched the most. Because if you go for something super, super advanced, quite few people will watch that. Maybe they prefer some books, some official documentation. If you do something very basic, for example, I think about like guitar tutorials because I have one friend who is really a guitarist, and he says, "Oh, when I do some really pretty basic stuff, I have so many views. When I do some advanced stuff, I get so very few views because it's too hard for people to
mm,
understand." So
mm,
maybe also for you, starting from the basics, it's really important. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, those kind of stuff, right? Memory management and things that you actually really need to be able to work in different
Yeah,
environment, right? In different ecosystem. People always looking to work on something that just like, I want to do web development. Well, that's cool, but knowing some of the fundamentals of how the internet works, right? On networking, all this kind of stuff,
nice.
you can use this knowledge to work anywhere, right? Not just in web development, but in any environment. And so
Yeah,
yeah,
it
this,
could be interesting also. Yeah, to
yeah,
understand. And I think yeah that maybe there could be there will be something about that, but you can also do this from your point of view. So if people
yeah,
they like you, they can come to your channel. You maybe do I don't know a series, a small video,
mm,
and people could watch it. Yeah. For example, I've done some Docker to introduction tutorials. There are way many, but I did that in my style some months ago, and people have watched that. So I think that yeah, you can teach the same
yeah,
things from your
yeah,
point of view. You can give your
mm,
style, your camera,
mm.
your audio, yeah,
Yeah,
your
especially,
interaction with
yeah,
people.
especially things like terms, right? Like terms in software development, terms that are really buzzwords, right? And people like, yeah, how do you make this thingy do that thingy, right? Instead of saying something like, okay, how can I iterate through an array, for example? And they're like, how can you move through this thingy, right? So trying
Okay.
to like teach people, hey, these words, you should know them, right? You should know this term.
Yeah,
It's much easier to read documentations, to interact with other developers than just asking, using thingy for everything, right?
yeah, yeah, but I think it's important also use pretty basic language to make
Yeah.
people
For
understand.
example, very few people, if I very few people know about, okay, what is actually this, let's say, entity that when you're iterating through an error, right? What is this entity that's actually iterating through an error? What is the term? There's a term for it, right? And oh, that's the iteration variable, right? Few people know about that. It's called iteration variable, right? And for example, I think in JavaScript you do JavaScript, right?
Hmm.
Do you do
Yeah,
JavaScript? Yeah, there's
Mhm.
when you're doing a for loop, you have in the I think in the pa- parameter list, you have
Mhm.
this. For example, you have a variable that it's like, you say I and it's plus plus, I guess. That's so these variables, all this something, they have names, right? So you should,
Mhm.
if you knowing these names, knowing the terms, it's really good. Okay. uh,
Yeah.
how what is assigning a value to a variable? What is initialization, right? What is initialization? What is it? What is going on in the background when you initialize in the class, when you initialize in an object? What is
Yeah.
what is an instance, right? What's the
Yeah.
difference between an instance?
Yeah,
uh,
and I think that these sort of things are the things that are researched the most on YouTube. So people
yeah.
that are really lost really at the beginning, or maybe they want maybe a definition. Yeah, they can
Mm.
type that. So this could be really a good.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Sometimes it's hard to teach the really super simple things because you need to say exactly, yeah, things in the right way. But yeah, yeah. I like this. I like this.
Yeah,
This.
I
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
too much now, sorry.
No. I like that. I like that. Yeah. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. Enjoyed your story.
Thank you.
Really, yeah.
Before we stop, you watch soccer, you watch football,
No, no. I played volleyball in the past.
volleyball? Okay. I wanted to
I
ask, are you
yeah.
ESS Rome or
I've
Juventus or
been. No, no, no. I'm not a real super football fan because I played volley and I've been a volleyball trainer for 20 years
oh
before being
wow.
a developer. So
Mm.
if you want to listen to my story, you need to invite me to your podcast. If you want to
Oh,
listen to that,
volleyball.
because
Wow.
you said that your job was far from software development, but even mine
Yeah,
was
yeah,
kind of far.
yeah.
I had a different story because I did a
Mm,
computer science degree, so it's a different story. But I also did a quite hard switch. So also in my case,
mm.
I had this kind of hard switch. So yeah, but this is another story. We are out of time now. Yeah. So Nathaniel, it's been really a pleasure to have you here, and really good luck with your podcast, your YouTube videos, full-time job, life, the third child. So I don't know what to say. I wish you the best for this year. Maybe this will be the 2021, and that's it. We are done. Would you like to say something to before closing this, and then we get.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Francesco Gracia. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really, I'm honored to be a part of your channel, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel. Do this because I'm sure that in the future his channel will grow a lot. So do that now, so you don't lose some the content. Yeah, that's it. We are done. Okay.
Right. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.